Alright guys, so I wanted to make a video about what characters and what teams to build for Doom 2 and beyond. So first of all, this is my original post in my Alliance Discord, where I wanted to help our Alliance get ready. And I made this great system. I created all the most used characters in Doom raids from the back of the days of Doom 1 and Doom 1.1. And I created them, and I want to explain this a bit. So first of all, the grades go from 1 to 4, 1 being the best possible, and to me that means that character is established character and made especially and works really well in Doom 2. To me it feels like these characters are the ones that you should be investing on, and almost no resource on them is wasted. And of course, this excludes Red Star promotions and T4s because those need to be thought out individually per character. Second, naturally, is grade 2, which is a solid character. You use these guys when there are no grade 1s available for you. That might be because there are no number 1s for the lane, they do not exist, or you don't have them at the moment, so they might exist but you don't have them. These characters are definitely worthy to upgrade to a point that you can do your current raid in a way that you don't have to spend too many resources bringing these guys up, healing them, and restarting nodes too many times. So bring them up, and definitely you can spend on them, but don't go crazy. After that comes grade 3, which is definitely not optimal, but in some cases these guys might be needed, because there's no better characters for that spot at the moment. These characters might struggle in Doom 2 and beyond, and I would suggest that you do only minimal investment on these guys, because they might be replaced pretty soon on your current raid team. Grade 4 are characters that were used in Doom 1. Someone might use them in Doom 1.1, but to me it feels like these characters have fallen out of favor for a reason or another, and I feel like most of the time these guys might not be good enough for Doom 2. There are exceptions because we don't know Doom 2 that well yet, so there might be some interactions or elements that might make these characters better. But when I made this list, Doom 2 was not released yet, and I've only done 1.5 raids, and so in that sense this list is under construction, and I might change these grades once we find out a bit more on Doom 2. Alright, so now to the point. Which characters to build up when you're talking about tech lane? First of all, there are 2 established characters, Kestrel and Doom. Those characters are the ones that you should do everything you can to get them and build them up as high as you can, because these guys sort of made the base for your team. After that, a lot of the characters are suboptimal altogether in this lane, and it feels like this lane is probably the one that needs the work, needs new characters and teams and synergies the most at the moment. They have some good individual characters like Dark Oak and Shuri, which I create somewhere between 2 and 3. There's also Minnie, so Minerva. Minerva I create at the moment at grade 3, but she might be a bit more useful in Doom 2. She felt quite squishy in Doom 1.1 when I made this list, so that's why I gave her the grade 3. The team I'm using at the moment in Doom 2 consists of Kestrel, Doom, Dark Oak, Shuri, and Minerva. I use 2 healers because of new content. I want to make sure that I don't die, and I don't mind refreshing my energy, but health packs are something that you need to be sort of rationing throughout the week if you're playing a lot of Doom raids, as we are doing daily Doom 2s. Alright, so other characters to consider. If you're playing with just one healer, so you're dropping out either Shuri or Mini, you can use one of these characters, Ghost, Misty, Nebula. These guys are all in the same level in my eyes. They are characters that have their uses. Ghost and Misty are definitely, I think they're more useful altogether in the node. Nebula's benefit is that most of you have built her up already because of Infinity Watch. So in that sense, Nebula is definitely a sort of a budget character for this node, for this lane. But you could also use Ghost or Misty, and for me, my favorite has been, when I used only one healer, I've been using Misty, Misty Knight, and actually I used Minerva at the same time. And I did that because Misty Knight can do those death downs on the enemy, and that works really well with Kestrel, as we all know. There's one thing to notice. We got one tech character coming up to the game quite soon, Lady Deathstrike. And even though Lady Deathstrike is not a raid character per se, I would still say that she is quite a useful character in the raid still. She has a lot of survivability, which is really good. As a character that does damage, and if you're replacing a healer for that, you don't want to be a situation where your lack of healing gets to a point that you start to lose your team. So Lady Deathstrike is a good replacement for one of the healers because she can take care of her own health pretty well, and on top of that she will be doing a lot of damage. So I think Lady Deathstrike will be most likely a grade 2. So after Kestrel Doom, I think Lady Deathstrike might be the third best character in there. Then you're going to be choosing one of the healers, Minerva or Shuri, and then Dark Ark after that. Alright, let's go to Mystic. Mystic is the lane that we first see the new system of a 3-man team that is launched just for raids. And it feels like they do this on purpose. They want for you to use the 3-man as a base for your team, and use the 2 remaining spots to mix and match the characters that you have to make a good raid team. And of course we are talking about the new warriors. Deathpool, Dagger, and Cloak, and they all deserve a grade 1. They are awesome. They are so good. They make every raid so much easier when they are on the board. Besides that, we have actually established characters as the 4th and 5th spot as well. Silver Surfer is definitely one of the best options for Mystic raids, and with testing all the other characters, it feels like the best 5th after that is Adam. The best sort of a budget choice is Doom, because you already built Doom for tech, so you might as well use him in Mystic as well, and that way you can save your resources for other characters. And Doom definitely is not a bad choice. He's actually almost at the same level as Adam, but not quite. So Adam is absolute best choice. I would say Doom is the best choice maybe overall when thinking about resource management, your teams and whatever's, and I think Doom is really good, but if you want to go for the best, Adam is better. Then we have the base, which we used in Doom 1. Before we got the New Warriors team, we had to use Thanos and Maw, and they worked really well in Doom 1. If you have them built up as most people do, because of Black Order was a dominant team for a long time, they held their own pretty well. Thanos feeding energy and Maw and Thanos helping each other meant that these guys were pretty good, and you just top them off with the best characters that you have at the moment, which were most likely Silver Surfer, Thanos, and something else. And but there's a big but. These guys have definitely creeped down a lot since Doom 1. Doom 1.1 they already struggled, and in Doom 2 they struggle even more. I would only use them if you definitely don't have a way to get Dagger and Cloak. You missed the calendars, and you missed the Blitz, and you didn't buy any offers, and your Dagger and Cloak are either non-existent or they are such a low level, such a low star that you cannot use them. Only in that situation should you use Thanos and Maw. Hela was pretty okay at some point before Deathpool was released, and the usual team was something like Thanos, Maw, Silver Surfer, Hela. Thanos, Maw, Silver Surfer, Hela, and what else? Adam Warlock, maybe. Anyways, so Hela is definitely the weakest link in this list, and you should definitely not build her up for Doom 2 or beyond. She's so squishy that she will die when any of the characters in Doom 2 just glance at her. So forget Hela at this point at least. Okay, so next is Mutant. We have a good team in Mutant lane, which is the Axemen. The full Axemen, not any sort of a hybrid team with dad bros or anything. The full Axemen. That's the best possible team at the moment in the game for Mutant lane. No questions asked. But I still don't grade them that high. To me, it feels like the main trio of Bishop, Jubilee, and Beast are only between the grades 1 and 2. Kitty and Iceman are grades 2, and you should never use these guys without the other Axemen, the Bishop, Jubilee, and Beast. After that, we had a period of time when we used Longshot and Shatterstar and even Mr. Sinister in the Doom 1 raids for the 2 bosses of the 3, where you could do this combo of cloning the opposite Longshot and having 2 Longshots in the field. You would just roll over everything because they didn't get a chance to get a turn because of the insane amount of speed meter that you got. But after 1.1, that team super fast became super unreliant. You couldn't get to the combo, and you couldn't get past the node with that combo, and it felt just like a waste of time trying it because it failed more often than it worked. So after that, I decided to go with the full Axemen, and it was a lot better. So I'm feeling like these guys are definitely on the bench at the moment and shouldn't be used in Doom 2. But there's one thing to notice, that we still don't have the last member of the X Factor team. So I'm giving them some hope of being relevant again, maybe in the raids, but not at the moment. One other thing, we got one mythic legendary mutant coming in the game soon, Omega Red, and I feel like he's going to be insanely good in these raids. I would grade him just by checking his kit to a most likely 1 or maybe 1, 2, 2. And who would you replace with Omega Red in your X-Men team, to me it feels like Kitty Pryde is the weakest link. Kitty has such a bad focus that she rarely cleans those buffs from the enemy or lands those disrupts when needed. I've played with her some time now with a skirmisher ISO class, and at skirmisher ISO blue level 1, I still feel that the cleaning of the buffs and the landing of the disrupts is not really that good, and it feels like that's the only thing good about her. So if she's not that good, you should definitely replace her. And I think Iceman is more important because you need those slows. The slows are sort of the bread and butter of the team because you get a lot of speed, and the advantage like which gives you the edge is when you give slow to the enemy and speed up yourself. In that sense, you just get rolling, so you cannot leave that Iceman slows of the team. So that's why I think you should replace Kitty with Omega Red once he is launched. All right. So next one is Bio, and Bio team. This grading was done on Doom 1.1, so I felt super bad about symbiotes. It felt like these guys struggle a lot in Doom 1.1, but looking at Doom 2, it feels like they noticed that we were struggling with this team, and the problem might have been that the nodes were having such a synergy that it just was hard for symbiotes to work. But Doom 2 definitely, the nodes are in a sense easier, that you can actually work in there and not just get wasted in a second like you did in Doom 1.1, especially the boss node. And all of the nodes are, even the boss nodes in Doom 2, are manageable with symbiotes, and it actually feels pretty good to play with them. But I still grade these guys at 2 because they didn't feel that good. They actually feel pretty bad in Doom 1.1, and I'm not sure about after what comes after Doom 2 difficulty 1, 2, and 3. So I don't know if they still work in there. We have some rumors also about new Bio characters coming in the game. So Thunderbolts and Eternals are definitely in the rumors, and those guys might either be a full raid team, or they might have parts that you might want to use in your raid team. So I'm expecting Bio to get some sort of a solution or some sort of a help at some point. I'm not sure how Scopely thinks about it, because I feel like they might have meant that Bio, the symbiotes, should be the Bio team for the future, and by making the Doom 2 raids and the Bio lane easier, they sort of fix that problem. But I still feel like it's on the air that there might be some changes on the Bio lane and the symbiote team. So I would stay tuned on that, but I still grade them at 2, or in Carnage's case 2 and 3, between somewhere there. And the mishmash characters that you might have used in Doom 1 or even Doom 1.1, Phyla, Black Bolt, Yo-Yo, I wouldn't invest on these guys for the raids at the moment. Of course, you might want to invest on Phyla for your Infinity Watch team, which is really important for the wars and arena and everything. But as you well know, raids is super important, so if you want to be working on raids, you should be for getting Phyla, Black Bolt, and Yo-Yo, at least for the time being. All right, so last but not least is the skill. Skill has that three-man team, sort of the same way as New Warriors in Mystic, that we have the Secret Avengers, and they form the basis of your team. Captain Sam, Sharon Carter, Mariah Hill are the trio, and after that you definitely want Kestrel in there, And the fifth character is something that you can play around a bit. To me, it feels like Shang-Chi is probably the best fifth at the moment in the team. It might be something else, but to me it feels like Shang-Chi is the best. And she feels like, I think Scopely actually sort of acknowledged that they probably made Shang-Chi a bit more powerful than they actually meant him to be. But I don't think he's a problem in any way in any of, I would say, war or anything. I feel like he's still a balanced character, and I don't feel like they will be doing any nerfing like they don't want to do either. So I feel like he's a really good character in the skill lane, and you should be building him up. A lot of people used Fury as the fifth, and I've been using Fury as well. There's few problems with Fury, even though he has some synergy with Shield, and he has the summons, which of course work super well with Kestrel. So Kestrel pings and summons, they are like a holy union that works really well in the raids. But Fury's minions are quite bad. They don't have that death proof, and they die of any splash damage that are thrown at them. And there's a lot of splash damage in the raids, so usually they just die. And for a long time it felt like Fury's only purpose in the raids is just to spam that special and just give those buffs to your teams. And to me that feels like it's not worth of a character spot at the moment. He's still one of the best options as a fifth character, but I still think Shang-Chi is better. I also gave Gamora and Moondragon a 2, but that's sort of not that clear. I would give them 2 if you're using them as a pair. Alone, they would both be somewhere, I think, maybe grade 3, but together they are grade 2. So if you're missing some of the Secret Avengers, or they are not in a good level, you should definitely use Gamora and Moondragon as a pair. But I would say that with Moondragon, you probably want to have at least one more healer in the team. Either Mariah Hill or Night Nurse. But as a duo, they are really good. The old Doom 1 team, which had Night Nurse and Red Guardian as the base, definitely is a lot worse than it used to be. Mostly because their Secret Avengers are just so darn good. We've seen that a low red star, Captain Sam, just beats the shit out of Red Guardian, and does that easily. I can't remember the exact red stars, but I think something like a 4 yellow star, 3 red star Captain Sam has more health than a 7 red star Red Guardian. And all of his stats, besides not only the health, but most of his stats are better than Red Guardian, and his kit is better. So that's why Night Nurse and Red Guardian are only 3 at the moment. But if you don't have Captain Sam, if you don't have Mariah Hill, these guys are definitely the ones that you should be building up and making sure that you use them in the raids. Then we have the characters that have been used in Doom 1, maybe even in Doom 1.1 at some point, but they were sort of like lone characters that were used as a fifth in a team. So Proxima, Zemo, Taskmaster, Colleen. Out of these, I would say that I give some hope to Proxima, Zemo, and Taskmaster, and I give that hope because Doom 2 raids are still sort of, we haven't figured out them just yet. And it feels like controlling the board is super useful. So these guys have a lot of control. So they might actually pop up in the list maybe to 3 or between 2 and 3, if we find out that they're super useful with their control elements in the nodes. I'm not sure, but I give that a small possibility. But I think Colleen is not in that same category, and Colleen should be probably staying at 4, just because Colleen doesn't do that much control. She just does a lot of damage, and I think we need control. All of the control you can do in the field, let it be slows, speed ups, blind stuns, disrupts, whatever, they all feel really good in there because the enemy characters are really powerful. So it's always good to land a blind on them and just laugh when they try to hit their ultimate on you and just miss everything. But alright, that's my video about your priority on the characters for Doom 2 and beyond, and my grades on them. And I would love to have some feedback from you guys. So if you have any critique, if you have any thoughts about characters being lower or higher in the grades, let me know. I would love to talk with you guys. So drop a comment. If you enjoyed this, if you had if you gained any knowledge out of this and any ideas, please like, subscribe. You know the deal, the usual. But I thank you from the bottom of my heart if you managed to stay this long, because this is a pretty long video, 25 minutes. So thanks for watching, and see you again. Bye.